G'day and welcome back to Dairy Air Farms. Now that I've had a chance to have a look over the Antonio Carrero pack, I thought I would give you my honest opinion of it. The pack comes with 10 tractors. Well, I guess 9 tractors in this ATV type vehicle. I did find out that two things researching the company, that the company was founded in the 60s by Antonio Carrero, who just passed away, which is unfortunate. My condolences go out to his family. And secondly, they make about 20 tractors. Giants was represented 10 of those. And mainly I think because a lot of the models have very minor features. Some of them it's the same tractor with a slightly less horsepower. But nonetheless, Antonio Carrero markets their tractors for vineyard use, orchard use, and olive grove use. And they're also pushing now for municipal contracts, obviously in Europe, because American highways are much too large, but they're pushing for their line of tractors to be adopted by municipalities to do grass care, like taking care of the grass at the side of the roads, things like that. The thing I found ironic in that is two things. One, most of their tractors use Kubota engines, and Kubota has pretty much, at least around here, has got a fairly tight lock on the municipal contracts. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Maybe it's different in Europe. And secondly, none of these tractors have a front-end loader. I guess if you're just mowing grass, looking after an orchard or a vineyard, or an olive grove, you really don't need a front-end loader. So, we'll quickly go through what the tractors are. We'll take each one for a spin afterwards. So let's go to the store, and I'm going to select Antonio Carrero. So here's the Super Tiger 635 that we were looking at. It's 35 horsepower, manual transmission, 18 liters of fuel. Now, you're going to take a while to burn through that at a max speed of 13 miles an hour. I don't know much else in the game that only requires 35 horsepower. To me, I mean, this isn't on their website anymore, and it definitely looks like a classic. To me, it fits in with the 25 horsepower Zetor Z-25K, which I have on one of my farms as pretty much decoration, or a novelty tractor. This is the Tiger Car 3200 GST. It's powered by a whopping 19 horsepower engine. It's also a manual transmission. 30 liters of fuel, max speed of 18 miles per hour, and will hold 890 liters of crop if you want. The back can be changed to either a flat deck like that or to a sided almost trailer like that. Extension, basically, yes or no. I would probably go with yes, because you don't want whatever is behind you, if you had an accident, flying forward and hitting you in the head. Your only option is wide tires or standard tires. There is no brand. And then you can change the rims between standard, silver, gray, and black. Next up, we have the TTR 4400 38 horsepower CVT transmission, 35 liters, 17 miles an hour, 25,000. You can change the tires on this between Trelleborg and Vertestein, and you can either go with standard or twin wheels. Rim color, same as the other one. You can go between standard, silver, gray, and black. Well, we'll get to the roll bar when we look at the tractor. Here is a 7600 Infinity. The power has now jumped up to 75 horsepower. Also a variable CVT transmission, 50 liters of diesel, 24 miles an hour. And it has also gone up in price to $57,000. This one has quite a few options to it. You can have a 3-point hitch on the front. Wheel brand is Trelleborg, Vertestein, Michelin. You can again have dual wheels, twin wheels, wheel weights, and standard. This is an interesting way of doing it. If you add weights to the tractor, they appear on the side right behind the bull bar. And you can vary them up to 600 kilograms. Rim color, same as the other ones. Here's a TGF 1090 900R. It's 98 horsepower, manual transmission, which is interesting. 50 liters of fuel, 24 miles an hour. It can be equipped with a front 3-point hitch. If you equip the front 3-point hitch, it automatically adds the bull bar to the front of the tractor. Wheel brands, Michelin, Vertestein. That's it. Wheel setup again, wheel weights, and standard. That's it. Front weights you can add, same as the other tractor, 200, 400, or 600 kilograms. And the rim colors are the same. Now, the Tony, I guess named after Tony Carrero, is 98 horsepower. So it's jumped up to almost 100. Variable CVT transmission, 50 liters, and 24 miles an hour. You can add a 3-point to the front, or you can just add a bull bar. I would go, if you're working with vineyards, I would go with front and rear 3-point hitch. Makes mulching and cultivating and pruning a lot easier. Wheel brands of Vertestein, Trelleborg, and that's it. Set up a wheel weights standard, and you can also add front weights to this. Here's the next model up, the Tony 10900 SR, 98 horsepower, variable CVT, 50 liters. It's pretty much almost identical to the other tractor. Again, 3-point Trelleborg Viertelstein Midas. If you go with Midas, you have grass care tires. If you go with Michelin, you got a choice between standard, wheel weights, and Trelleborg standard and wheel weights. There's the bull bar. And we have the same options of adding front weights and rim colors as the other vehicles on this one. Here's the Tony 10900 TTR. It's got quite a large cab, and as you can see, it's got a modern control system. We'll add a 3-point hitch to it because we know it's either a 3-point hitch or a bull bar. Front weight's the same. Wheel setup for this one is either standard wheel weights, twin wheels, and you don't have an option of manufacturer. The Mach 2R is the half track, I call it. 3-point. You've got the standard front weights. You can change your wheel setup between wheel weights and standard. And you can change the main color of the tractor to the Antonio Carrero red, or leave it as black. And last but not least, we have the Mach 4R, which is a quad track. You can add a 3-point to it. And the only other real option you have is adding front weights. All right. Here we are at the Tigre. And as you can see, it's pretty much an old-fashioned setup. So it's a classic. One for the ages, as they say. Next up, we have... what's this one called again? Tiger car. Yep, definitely manual transmission. And it's odd because it's got a semi-digital readout. I'm going to open this because you have the option to tip side, back, and other left side, back, and right side. I guess it's kind of a handy little runabout vehicle, but its speed and its horsepower, I would go with the bigger truck myself, the 2017. Here's the TTR 4400. Okay, this one is one of the good ones because you can change your driving direction. And notice how, whoa, all the dials are there with you, including the joystick. Basically, the whole control center has moved around. Kind of handy. Now this one has a rather large cab. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's to accommodate the air conditioning unit on top. Because, is that an air conditioner on the next one? It might be. So as you can see, the display on this one is a little bit more advanced in some ways than the other displays. Just like the previous tractor, we can change driving directions. That could be very handy for vineyard work. Or, I guess, mowing. Anything you want a good close-up view of. This is essentially the same thing, except it's got a smaller cab, and it does not have the ability to flip the seat around. I gotta remember to turn the engines off. Nope, this one's the same. It's got a fairly compact cab and no ability. Oh no, this one does have an ability to change driving directions. Take a look at this one, and then we'll take a look at the all-terrain. I don't think we need to look at every single vehicle because they're all in the same horsepower range. They all pretty much do the same thing. All but a few of them have the ability to change driving directions. I think it's kind of cute how the buddy seat is still there facing forward even though you're now facing in reverse. And let's take a look at this one to round it out, and then I'll give you my opinion. The cab is slightly smaller than the other cab in this one. Oh, by the way, they all come with beacon lights because they're European, I guess. Anyway, this is the cab. You again have the ability to change driving directions. And if you didn't notice, with all these most of these tractors, some of them are articulated and some of them aren't. There we go. Well, let's park that up and I will give you my honest opinion. First, let's look at all the equipment for grapes and pretty much olives that are required and their horsepower. This hardly requires any, the pruner hardly requires any horsepower. The sprayer, if that's full and you're going up a hill, I would probably want the high-end tractor on it. It'll handle the small trailer no problem. There is a larger version of these trailers, and again, I would probably go with a bigger tractor to get What's the biggest one? 24 or 14 cubic meters? Anyway, it's quite a bit bigger. The mulcher is rated at 70 horsepower. So most of the higher end of the Antonio Carrero pack will handle that. And the Agrasim Disco Vine subsoiler requires 65 horsepower. These are just two mods I downloaded to test them out. They pretty much do exactly the same thing as the Disco Vine. And both of them are within the horsepower range of this pack. Alright, honest opinion time. First, a couple things to consider. The models are beautifully detailed, and they are very nice. Secondly, this is the first time Giants has ever done a tractor pack with just tractors in it. Now, having said that, and the fact that they're also running the contest where you can win a video card for the most beautiful vineyard, tells me that they were trying, or desperately trying, to increase the appeal of vineyards and olive groves to people. On my main farm, and I'm going to be doing a video soon on it, have both an olive grove and a vineyard, and quite personally, they're a pain in the ass. I put up with it because I need the grapes to make the raisins to feed the cereal factory. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't bother with grapes or grapes and olives. Well, olive oil. I figure while I'm doing one, I might as well do the other. It was more of a curiosity thing. So would I buy this pack if I didn't have, or if I hadn't purchased the Seasons Pass? The answer is no. Quite honestly, I would give this one a miss. The same reason I gave in Farming Simulator 19, I forget which one, was it the Vicon or... Anyway, it was a whole set of small farm equipment, like 3-meter cultivators and stuff like that. The Borgo pack, which has just been re-released free for Farming Simulator 22, I was all over that in Farming Simulator 19. I had no problems paying for it. In fact, I paid for probably 50% of the DLC that came out in Farming Simulator 19. But for me, this pack doesn't offer enough variety to make it worth the $10.99. That's Canadian $10.99, $9.99 US, I think. As nice as the models are, and this is my favorite, but that's not worth the cost of what part of the DLC was. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily everyone's opinion. There are other people out there that very much are into smaller tractors, and will role play. Oh, it's darn deer. Mowing the verge down the side of the road here. And I am sure they will have a fantastic time doing it. But to be quite honest, if small tractors are your thing, this is definitely a great value. For me, I like big farms, big fields. In fact, on Elm Creek, I have merged most of my big fields that I can together to create massive fields. So these would be no use whatsoever there. Yeah, it's really a personal preference. Like I said, the detail and the sound effects and everything that's being put into this pack makes it worth your money if you are into and have a use for small tractors. Make sense? Okay, thanks for watching and take care.